Alf, why do all the credit card YouTubers out there, man, they're very quick to talk about all the benefits, the rewards, how easy it is to apply for these credit cards. But what they don't tell you is that the average household in the United States is carrying somewhere between $6,000 and $8,000 in credit card debt on average. And of course, that's just the average. Believe it or not, millennials have less than Gen X. Or maybe we should believe that. Anyway, we always hear about how millennials don't have anything figured out. Apparently, it's Gen X that carries that highest average according to the Google. We searched it, and that's what we found. If you're looking for a different type of credit card YouTube channel, one that brings a little bit of humor, doesn't necessarily have all of the gadgets and the gizmos and the graphics and all the things, we've got some tricks, we've got some sound effects, right? Frank, do we have any sound effects? Oh man, it's pathetic. Well, this is video one in the Credit Card Dad YouTube channel journey. And it's going to be a fun ride. We will compare cards. So we'll talk about individual credit cards. We'll talk about pros and cons, benefits, and so forth. We're also going to talk about news that affects credit scores, different tips and tricks and that sort of a thing. But the biggest thing that I want to focus on in this channel is responsibility. And don't feel bad if you have credit card debt and you found your way here. We've all got some credit card debt. The big thing that I want to focus on is fiscal responsibility and us trying to get better at it every day. Don't feel bad if you don't have it all figured out. The U.S. government has a 36 trillion, accounting is at 37 trillion dollars in counting national deficit. Some people don't want to believe that that's a real thing, but friends, it's a real thing. So don't feel bad. Just because we can't all manage our money perfectly, neither does the U.S. government. It's supposed to have all the answers, right? Applying for credit cards, make sure that you understand the full terms and conditions. There's a lot of shiny cards that offer kind of that nice shine, kind of that new car smell. But the reality is that once you get past, if you've got a 0% APR for 12 months or 15 months or whatever it is, you usually get kicked into a 19 to 29% bracket. And it's a lot different than zero. I think we can agree on that. And if you're too far down that road, if you're too far in, it can lead to trouble. I went through a divorce when I was 27 years old. I had about $20,000 approximately, $15,000 to $20,000 of credit card debt that I had to sort out. And the vast majority of it I took on myself to pay off, and it was not fun. It was actually going back in time to 2009 during the subprime mortgage crisis. And what they did actually back then, because so many people were kind of going through a similar thing, is you could settle out of these cards. So if you have a $5,000 balance, let's say, then if you had cash to pay off, then you could maybe negotiate $3,000 to pay off that card. And then another card, maybe it's $5,000, then you pay $2,000, get out of that card. But the one thing that I didn't realize, and I found out later when I was doing my taxes, is that the difference between the $2,000, the settlement, and the actual balance that's owed, that was considered as income going back, and I think it still is. So going back 15 years now, roughly, but that was considered income. So when I got to go and pay in taxes, yes, I was able to settle out of these credit cards, but that difference in the settlement, I had to pay in taxes as income. And I was like, oh man, that was a little bit of a shock to the system. Again, going back when I was 27 years old, I already didn't have a lot of money, had 2 small kids, and I was getting divorced. So that was fun times. Credit cards can be a journey. And so again, on YouTube, so much focus around perks and use this card. And the thing that shocks me the most is I've got 10 cards. I've got 15 cards. I've got 20 cards. Look, if you've got 10 or 15 different credit cards that you're juggling and managing, that almost feels like a full-time job in itself. And even for those that manage their money perfectly, even if you make 6 figures, maybe even 7 figures of income, the thing that I've noticed is in life, there can be highs. As I explained, there can also be lows. There can be some deep lows. So you might have 10 credit cards where you're making all sorts of income and you're playing this game of rewards and points and this and that. You're carrying a balance over here, paying off over there. But if you lose your job, if your income changes, if something dramatic happens in life and you find yourself with huge balances on these cards, and then, now we're getting into that 20% to 29% bracket of interest, all of a sudden it gets really hairy. And it might even mean bankruptcy. I want to be a YouTube channel that's really focused around fiscal responsibility, and I'm not here to pretend like I am some sort of 7-figure millionaire expert on the subject. I'm an average Joe out here married with 4 kids here in the US, and I'm going to learn as we go as well. So yes, we will be talking about individual credit cards. We'll be talking about different strategies. We'll also be telling stories here about different folks just going through things. And I think it's important. I want to present here kind of an average Joe going through life with credit cards. Yes, while there's lots of rewards and points and different things, there's also plenty of pitfalls. So thank you for being here, journeying with us with the Credit Card Dad. See you next time.